Hi, welcome to another video. In today's video, we are going to sit down together and take a look at the syllabus and what's the difference between the PSLE official exam and the O Levels official exam. And I hope that will give you some insight as to what are the demands and the requirements of these official exams and what is the gap that we have to close between primary school and secondary school. That's what we have to do in order to prepare our students after the PSLE to be able to do well in the O Levels, right? First, I have just in front of my computer here the PDF document for the English language DCE O Levels syllabus 1128. This is a PDF document that is available freely from the National Exam Board. And let's take a look at what are some of the general aims. There are just three. Okay, listen, read, and view critically. That's the keyword. And with accuracy, understanding, and appreciation. A wide range of literary and informational functional text from print and non-print sources. Number 2, speak, write, and represent in internationally acceptable English that is grammatical, fluent. Okay, another keyword. Mutually intelligible and appropriate for different purposes, audiences, contexts, and cultures. Right? And the third aim. Okay, understand and use internationally acceptable English, grammar, and vocabulary accurately and appropriately, as well as understand how speakers, writers put words together and use language to communicate meaning and achieve impact. These are just very broad aims. So what does it mean in terms of assessment objectives, right? It's given right here. So I just go through a few of them so that I don't bore you too much in this video, right? Okay, why don't I just summarize the assessment objectives for you? Now, basically, all the objectives here, okay, are a test on the student skills. They are the 4 skills which I've mentioned in previous videos. Your speaking, your writing, your reading, and your listening skills, right? So, all these 4 skills are being tested in all the 3 papers as well as the oral assessment, okay, to be able to speak and write in internationally acceptable English. That is, paper 1 and oral, right? And some of the other assessments here show understanding of how to use, how use of language achieves purpose and impact, right? You get that in comprehension, identify main ideas and details in written, spoken, and visual text. And, yeah, basically that's about it, right? If you want more information, I'll try to put a link to the National Exam Board website where you can go ahead and download the PDF file and see for yourself. The rest of this document is just the format of the examination, the marks and the weightage and what's the duration, so on and so forth. So I wouldn't want to bore you with that, so I'm not going to go through that. So if you take a look at the assessment objectives, it's quite clear, right, that the exam paper is going to be demanding, right? If you do not practice and you do not acquire the skills, then the student will find it hard eventually to be able to deal with the examinations at O Levels. And there is a huge gap between the questions or the demands, okay, on the student from the PSLE level and from the O Levels. Okay, what I have here with me, I have some past year papers assessment books with me. I'm just working on some worksheets together with enjoying my coffee right here, right? So let me just very quickly show you what I mean, okay? And then hopefully you will be able to see that there's actually a jump in the demands of the papers. I have here the let's see, 2017 August last year oral communication assessment, day 1. Okay, so for the oral exam, students are given 5 minutes preparation time and 5 minutes examination time. So during those 5 minutes, they are asked a series of questions, usually about 3, and the examiner will sometimes prompt them when necessary, right? And just listen to these questions. Look at the picture. Would you be interested to do this activity? Why? Why not? Quite easy. Okay, how does your school celebrate Teachers' Day? Another relatively easy question. Okay, and the final question, other than teachers, who else would you like to show your appreciation to and why. And because of the short amount of time that's given to each student, the expectation for the student is just to be able to deliver fluently and be able to talk coherently, and that's about it, right? And the student will be able to do well in the oral examination. And if you analyze the question a little bit, all these questions does not require to think of the student to think outside of what he or she is currently already experiencing in her life, right? Questions about celebrating Teachers' Day is something that the student has gone through. Okay, who else would you like to show your appreciation to? So this type of question does not require the students to have any form of preparation beforehand. The student does not need to study, or go and read out some text to get some knowledge in order to understand or in order to answer these type of questions. Right. Now let's very quickly just go through one more set of questions. I'll just jump to the second and third question, right? How else could your school encourage pupils to keep your classroom clean? So this is a topic about cleanliness and hygiene, right? And third question, do you think the cleaners in your school have an easy job? Why or why not? Again, very similar set of questions that does not require a student to think beforehand or to not to have to study and prepare beforehand. The student can think on the spot, and the student should be able to come out with a reasonably intelligent response. Right? That's what all the examiner wants. Now let's take a look at what is happening during the actual O Level examination oral. Okay. Now for O Level examination oral, schools will start preparing the students for the O Level syllabus right from Sec 1. So from Sec 1, usually within the first 6 months, please don't be surprised if your child does not do well in the exam, because usually they take a little bit of time to adjust to the new syllabus and to see that, wow, actually there's a huge gap between O Level syllabus and PSLE syllabus, right? And when they go eventually to Sec 4, okay, this is what they have to contend with. Okay, this O-level, the oral questions, right? In the O-level oral, students are given 10 minutes preparation time and 10 minutes examination time, right? And during those 10 minutes, they will need to discuss about a picture, which leads into 2 other questions. So in total, they will be asked 3 questions, right? So these questions are from last year, November 2017, first day, right? First question, would you enjoy visiting a place like the one in the picture? Why or why not? So, pretty similar to what we get in PSLE, to just talk about the picture, having a conversation about the picture. Then we proceed to question 2. What do you think is the proper etiquette to be observed in art galleries? Now, immediately we see that this question requires the student to think a lot more when you compare this to what we get in the PSLE, right? So, and let's just go through the third question first before I give you my opinion, right? So the third question is, do you think that our society today places sufficient emphasis on art? So if you're a student and you have got no interest in art, what do? Keep quiet. So if you keep quiet, then you're going to do badly for the O-level oral examination, right? Let's just look at another set of questions, right? From day 2, right? And then before I give you my opinion. Okay, first questions. How do you feel about the events taking place in the picture? So the picture is about some women taking part in a mass dance. So pretty easy question. So this is a topic about exercise and leisure. Alright. Second question. How do you usually spend your leisure time? Pretty easy, right? And third question. Why is it important to have time for leisure activities? So for this type of questions, Okay, now the student is expected to be able to present some form of arguments and some form of benefits to explain why, it is important, to set aside time for leisure activities. And as for the third question from the previous day, do you think that our society today places sufficient emphasis on arts? Again, there is some requirement from the student, right, to give some kind of opinion, right? Do you think our society places sufficient emphasis on art? Maybe yes, maybe no, right? Depending on which side you take, you will need to come up with some arguments, and you need to support your arguments with some examples. So the examples can be experiences from your life, can be anecdotes, can be some stories that you have read from the news. It does not really matter, right? But as you can see, there's some form of skill that's involved in the O-level syllabus that you don't really need, okay, when you are in taking the exam in primary school. So this is what our Singaporean students have to cope with, right? And which is the reason why I'm sitting here in the middle of the afternoon trying to come up with worksheets to help them to be able to tackle these challenges. So yeah, I'm just taking a break to make this quick video for you. Hopefully from this video, okay, you get some insights as to the challenges that your child will be facing in the O-level syllabus. Do not underestimate the O-level syllabus, right? In my opinion, it is a rather challenging one. No doubt the exams are considered quite comprehensive because it tests a student in all the different skills, right? So there is no lopsidedness involved, right? So it's a pretty well balanced examination, pretty fair, right? But if the student is not careful and just did not take the time to develop certain skills that is required for the exam, then be prepared for not so favorable grade. Thank you so much for staying with me in this video. Hope that again you have some of the information in this video have been of use to you. If not, just give it a thumbs down. But if you like the video, please share this with your friends. And remember to subscribe to my channel. Right? That's all I have. Bye bye.